So if you're ready to get busy, as in you're one of those people who is doing the work, you have your own company, you are a solopreneur, you are an entrepreneur, you've got your own team, you are somebody who really wants to pedal to the metal, be able to do the work that feels so satisfying or successful or peaceful or surprising. It's time to get busy. This is part of the new era, the new age. So it's not a one-time analysis that I'm going to be going through with you. No, this is a new operating system. And when you live and breathe and be your own authority, this is what reflects who you really are. And that infects or touches the lives of those around you. So if this is right for you, where the magic and money is, it's right there in your design. To find your material success, it's not too difficult. Not really, because when you do what is necessary, right, in accordance with right action, correct for you, when you find your right frequency, what you will find is that you get exactly what you need, no more, no less. And I know for the mind, if you're still like, but I want this, and so many people, I don't know if it's true for you, but do you see yourself or others too, pushing off their life until they have, get, be, do, whatever it is that they think must be, should be, has to be true. If that's you, stop. You're going the wrong way. Life is here now. It's not tomorrow, not even at the end of the day. It's here right now. So why not have some fun and be in accordance, alignment with your material success? So we're going to look at some stats really quick. Before those of you with the abstract start to glaze over, I'll go through this really quickly, okay? So you don't have to make sense of it. Those of you with right brain, body, mind variables, just relax. No worries, you don't have to remember this. But I'm going to go into some work stats. 20% of full-time employees work from home. That's quite a lot of people. 32 to 33 million here in my country. I'm in America, by the way. So it reflects the growing acceptance of flexible work, doesn't it? Our work stats, when it comes to the rise of remote work, we still have 47, 52% fully in office as of this year, this month. However, 28 to 33% of employees have adapted a hybrid work model. And so that has to be about 45 to 53 million. Okay, hybrid work model. I go in, back in my day, they used to call it telecommuting when we just had phones and we didn't have internet. Can you imagine? No phones as far as cell phones and no internet. Oh, telecommuting, back when we looked at the newspaper. Anyway, home and office flexibility. Boy, does that bring quality of life. I love being able to have a commute where I just walk across the hall, you know, or down the hallway, and be able to have lunch with my husband or pet my animals between classes or sessions. I mean, it's really a nice thing to do. So no wonder, and it's the separation and the self-empowerment too. No wonder many people want to do this kind of work. Now, by 2027, this would translate to 36 to 40 million Americans working remotely. That assumes a workforce of around 160 million, according to historical US labor force data. Okay, most of this is from Gallup. Now, hybrid work is likely to dominate further, approximately 48 to 56 million, 30 to 35% of the workforce. Companies are favoring flexible arrangements over fully remote ones. Isn't that nice? Now, it's not just because they're kind-hearted out of the good of their souls. No, it's much cheaper to be able to hire somebody. Somebody will take a pay cut if they can work from home because you've got that trade-off. You don't have to drive in. You don't have to get, you know, dressed. You don't even have to have the same kind of wardrobe. You know, I'm sitting in my slippers right now, even though I've got a dress on, you know. So when it comes to employers also conducting interviews remotely, 80 to 90%. Why not use the modern day technology? So you see that there is that separation business. And 16% of companies actually operate fully remote. Okay, 16 to 20%. Now, this is a flexible business model. It's never been easier to start up your own company. It's also never been easier to fail because you might have a great idea, but when it comes to actually putting it into practice, you're not willing to do the work. Unfortunately, this is what I see from many people who have pie in the sky visions of what they think they want to be, and they actually don't do the work. They don't practice. They don't do the work as in make the effort to let other people know about what they have to offer. They're afraid of being in the public stage or the public eye. You can see that I've quite gotten over that tendency of my own, quite frankly. Now, these hybrid work situations, this represents a problem. And if you want more information about that, I have a whole nother webinar on Wednesday. It's the first class free of my Leadership Success series, where we have been actually started with personal success, giving people the ability to learn how to make decisions correctly and working with their material success potential, as in how are they here to make money, okay? So money, honey, is where it's at currently because we've got to still work for the currency, and yet it is changing. How many of you have been trading, as in you've been, somebody just emailed me this morning, I'm a person, their value, what they offer, what they do. Would you trade with me for what you do? You know, would you help me? And that is part of the way that we can exchange our value. Energy, money. Money is energy. If we exchange energy, what the heck do we need money for? You know, it's kind of a new way of, well, not new. Trading is ancient before we had current monetary policy, you know? So we're kind of going back to a different way of getting the middleman out. Have you seen how many people have actually gotten the middleman out? Lots, lots and lots. Why do we need middlemen? Why not just go straight to the source, you know? Why not exchange? And so these hybrid work situations, this is one of the things that I see that might be most helpful, valuable, important for you to be able to experiment with too. So I'm going to help you unlock the secrets of your success individually, in partnership, and in teams. Would you like that? As far as the ability to help you shift your not only entire decision-making for yourself, but your framework of being able to find authority and clarity on your business and your people, you know, the people that you're working with accordingly, whether you're in a large group. Now, I warn you, this is not the right place to be. Look down at your body graph, please, everybody, whatever your body graph happens to be. Don't get distracted by Facebook. Look at your body graph. Do you have one of these channels? Have one of these channels? If so, you're going to make more money in the right large group. Now, I'll give you a warning. Those groups are hard to wake up in. You get caught up in the cabals and you get caught up in the office politics. And these are the organizing channels of a group of 16 people. The WA mechanics, when we get up to gene pool size, 81 people, those huge hierarchical, you know, 1,000 conglomerates people, that's the thing that's probably crumbling because it's no longer holding its weight, the support of institutions, as far as the background frequency. So it's more important to get your own shit together rather than trying to scale infinitely and own this huge, large company. I mean, quality of life, really. It really is about knowing yourself truly. And that's where Ra gave us alpha dynamics, this hidden force that's behind every team's success or failure that you have no idea until you actually study. You don't get to see it unless you actually study and see it. Why did that business fail? What's wrong with this company? Why is it that when we're with this person, everything seems fine, and yet when they left, things went to shit? You know, that's one of the things that we get to see. It's quite fun and fascinating. So if you're like me and a human design geek, these human design mechanics, they're not optional. They're not pie in the sky. They're not fluff. You know, it is building your success if you are leveraging this for your business. If you don't know this stuff about your own design, it can be sabotaging you or your company silently. I'm going to show you how to flip that switch according to the nature of being able to find what's right for you to do. 3 groups of people and an alpha. This is the small of the large, like the smallest of the large corporations, companies, for these mechanics to kick in, okay? 10 people. minimum, physically in person. This is the way that we are looking at the human design mechanics for business. If your leadership doesn't know about these things, then it might be killing your company. So understanding how to engineer a high functioning group. First, it starts with the 3 to 5 people. You'll see a shift in harmony, productivity. You'll see more profitability accordingly if you are operating correctly. So the large business, we use the larger mechanics, the energy mechanics in that large group. Whether you align your departments to your model or not, most likely you're going to see, if you start to analyze the company, you'll see where you're leaking energy. And instead of, scaling infinitely, why not scale intelligently? If you want a small group and you're happy, stay there, so be it. If you're working solo and your company is making your $1 million and you're happy, why ruin a good thing, But sometimes we work better in partnership. And sometimes we work better in small groups. And sometimes we work better in large teams. It depends on your individuality. So agile, individual-led, decentralized, this is the new way forward. So the organizations like Penta, 5 people, or the OC16, midsize, or the ideal large group, 81, the WA mechanics is there's 81 people. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 creating a gene pool. The minimum number of people required in order to sustain the human population. So in the past, these giant conglomerates that were built because of the coordination efforts of the background frequency of the cross of planning, that's not going to happen anymore eventually. We're talking about a century. So no worries, hey? But why not leverage or take advantage of the mechanics, the genetic inherent potentials? And I know if you have yet to really experiment, that you don't know necessarily how this really works for you, and so you don't know if you can trust it yet. But those of you who do know, I'm not here to convince anybody, you know what it's like to be able to align and find the success, satisfaction, peace, surprise that you so richly deserve, that you've tasted freedom, sovereignty, authenticity, that the process of the development of the quality of your consciousness shifts when you are aware of mechanics, despite the fact that you might be immersed in a large business or company, that you're aware of what's happening. And awareness really is the whole movie. Seeing, as Rob would say. It is the thing that makes a difference in these different business departments, whether you happen to be down at the bottom of the hierarchy or up at the top of the company. So it's these things that are going to help you if it's right for you. I'm not saying everybody, no promises, no guarantees, but to be able to find the ability to have the competitiveness in the company, or to have the right people that you're managing or reporting to be able to know what it is that is right for you to give or to do, whether it be the direction of the company or the logic, the enforcement, the interaction, whether it be the process of innovation. All of these things can be seen in the bodygraph through these business departments. It's quite a fun thing to experience. So each one of us have our capability of being able to have our chart read and the operating system installed into either your personal or professional life. Now, growing a team isn't just about management. It's not about hiring more people either. It's about understanding the energetic blueprint, the wiring of, this is the creative express talents. You might have an activation, or you might have a whole channel like me. When it comes to synergy, when it comes to leadership, when it comes to what gives you the edge, knowing how you're here to succeed is really one of the most important things. If you feel a resonance with this material, I warmly invite you to continue to connect up with me. And whether you stay or not, at the end, I'll send you a gift for participating, for raising your hand and saying, me, I'm interested. Because when you use your genetic potential, this is about knowing who to team up with, rather than dragging people around like a dead weight or chasing after somebody that actually you're going to eventually hate, because no one's coming to rescue, save, fix you. This has to be that you do this as your own authority. It's not me or anybody telling you what to do. It's you unlocking the secrets of what is true. So over a decade of my practical experience with the human design system, teaching as head of my own company, as well as for other powers that be, I see that using human design can help you. It's the ultimate unlocking of your wisdom potential in the openness and your highest profit potential. So how can we leverage the shadows and turn them into success? One of the things is to grow without guesswork by ensuring that you are partnering with the right persons, building the right teams. If it's right for you to build a team, because it may not be right for you. And if you're still making decisions with your mind, oh, don't say that. The mind said, it's a really sad thing to see. A little bit worse than that, but there was a little bit of censoring there because I don't want to drag anybody down. But it really is a sad thing to see when you sit on this side of the desk, the computer, and you can hear a person's frequency where they are not being their own authority and they're automatically defaulting to powers that be, as in, you tell me. So the background frequency is not going to support that anymore. Many of you experts hanging your shingle saying, here, pick me. If you really aren't walking your talk, no wonder your business is falling off track. As in, people are going to gravitate to role model leaders. People are going to attune to what can be trusted and who is trustworthy. This is the 6-line era, part of the background frequency. So if you cannot walk your talk, nobody's going to follow you, as in, it really isn't about following anybody anymore either. So change your business model. Do something. Don't just sit there like a frog getting boiled in the hot water. Find your own authority. Be the leader, your self-leadership of who you came here to be. The world is shifting. Old ways are crumbling. So we've got to get you in your self-empowered. Doesn't necessarily have to be a happy place, but I'll tell you, even though there's a lot of difficulty, it feels like I'm walking around with a kind of permagrin, as in there is something to be said for being in alignment with your frequency and navigating this transition. It's a change in mindset away from traditional work and into this new era of the blueprint that allows you to stand up and be your own authority and be able to do the thing that you came here to do. No more hoping, no more wishing. It's about finding the right people, allies, the right partnerships in order to have the capability of doing or being what you came here to be. This is my chart over here. I'm a basic split. I'm designed for collaboration. Okay. So the fastest way to destroy the partnerships, assumptions, non-communication. Okay. The way to build one is awareness, knowing, as a projector, particularly knowing who the other person is. How can I get the best out of you, for your benefit? It's not about me as a projector. It's about finding you, your way forward, by you being your own authority. And that's what's so beautiful about the human design system. It is not about creating dependencies. If I was sage on the stage, rather than the guide on the side, I would be like, okay, here's my program. Come pay me more money, come pay me more money. Whereas what do you see? You see Laveena out there teaching tons of information freely on YouTube, letting people volunteer their time, energy, money, attention, paying in attention, as in the new currency frequency, attention, attunement, trust. What is trustworthy? The programs that I create for you, co-create with you, truly, is about being able to help you find the abundance without guesswork or trial and error that you would have experienced had you slogged it on alone. I really wish that there was someone like me back in the day, like when I came across human design. I was looking, not necessarily finding. But because it's not because, oh, I'm better than anybody else out there. No, it's because I'm me. So if you could imagine yourself meeting yourself in 10, 20 years' time, wouldn't you want to know that person? So why not cut through the crap, get to know yourself, and do the work that you came here to do? Be who you came here to be. And then your energetic compatibility with others, no longer a mystery because you've got the solidity of your own authority. And being in a small group, the group is working through you. If you're someone like me, you are the voice of the company, or being the voice of an industry sometimes. What to do? It is what it is. So because this is invisible to most people, you're going to have a leg up or an advantage when you start to study this information, to be able to have more of a well-oiled machine, whether it be in your own team, your family, business, whatever. So the correct energetic roles, one of the things that I'm going to help my people with, if you come along with me for the journey, so that you don't have miscommunications, so that you don't have a hole in your boat. This is a pentagraph, just so you know. What a pentagraph is when we take 3 to 5 people, we put them together, and in our comparative analysis, we can see who is appropriate for this team, what they bring to the company, whether or not this person is going to have an issue with that person. Wouldn't you like to know a little bit about how to dissolve or diffuse tensions that can build up in a corporation or a company? Everybody has a perfect and beautiful design. It's just that sometimes we don't align. So in our analysis and engineering, to activate the team's full potential, we want to ensure that all engines are firing. Okay, we want to make sure and my team who happen to be like me, engineering team dynamics, to be able to tap into someone's and the either partnership or small group hardwired potential. It's truly a fascinating thing to see when you can step into that role of being an advisor who can guide and help people unlock their own genetic activations, their blueprint. So this isn't theory. This is actuality. Most people, when they get an analysis or take one of these classes, they'll find that the alignment of confirmation or the ability to really identify what's there, particularly when you're like me with an unconscious definition, a channel activation that's all red, you as a mental personality, you may not necessarily be aware of what is there. Anything that's red, it's unconscious in you. Other people see it, but you may not, really. So when you have this capability of standing in your own authority, of being in alignment, when we use mechanics to engineer teams, such a big difference that it makes, because it immediately shows you how much you have value in that particular small grouping or not, so that you can step away without guilt, without shame, without blame, without fault, without regret, saying, oh, I wish, or if only, how much time, energy, money do you waste trying to figure all that out? Let me go to a therapist and tell me why I don't work well in groups. You're not a group person, you're a projector. Your power is with one person at a time. How simple, simple. And yet the mind can still fight and rail against its fate. I remember being in a school class with one of my teachers who said, no, you're a small business person. No, 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 not large groups. And I was like, wait, what? What do you mean? I love large groups. Not anymore. Not now that I've deconditioned. It's very different to be more effective and efficient. One person at a time. You notice I'm not paying attention to the chat. I can't. I would not be able to be here for you who is actually paying attention to me too. So whether we are here to pull the team together, hold the team together, be able to bring resources and direction to the company, oversee the operations, plan the operations, or speak as the mouthpiece, marketing the clients. Hi, that's me. We always need an influx of clients. So listen up. Are you having trouble attracting attention to your company, to your business? Do you have gate 8 or gate 1? You don't have a gate 8, you're missing public relations. Oops. You're having some difficulty getting attention to your business. Hey, look at me, pick me. Well, it's not in your design. So let go of those things that you're trying to do that aren't right for you. Outsource, hire, partner, work with a company rather than desperately trying to be something that you're not. This is what makes it so easy, is to experiment and try it and see, so that you don't have the same kind of tension, inefficiency, disconnection, dysregulation. It's like having a business where, in this example, you really don't know what direction to take your business in, and you're pouring all kinds of money. You got a gate 14, you got all kinds of money, because money, wealth, resources, gate 14 is a wealth gate. So lucky me, I've always had this influx and outflow of cash, and yet note 2, don't know what to do. Trying to put it over here, over there, over there. It's one of the reasons I've been following Ra's gate 2, Ra's direction, following the path that he laid out for professional teachers, because it's the thing that has worked.